Hey folks, welcome to TacoBonsai. Today I'm going to be repotting this yew. It probably doesn't need it, but it is starting to get rough to keep all these big pots full of little plants on my balcony, and this would be due for repotting in probably August, um, July now, so I'm not really concerned with repotting it early. I don't think this is even alive. This is a cutting from, yeah, this didn't make it. So that's an easy one to throw away. Let's just dive right in and get this thing done. So I'm going to readjust a little bit. I'm probably not truly prepared to do the physical labor that is involved with repotting this, but I'm going to give it a shot. First and foremost, pull it out. Lots and lots of roots in here, not shocking there. So instead of pretending that there aren't a whole lot of roots in there, I'm going to use the pot to my advantage to hold it still, and I'm going to give myself a little cut all the way around it to try to eliminate the need to be doing a whole lot of stuff in the air. There's some quite large roots in here. I don't know how these root systems are supposed to be. Actually, someone told me this is a slow-growing plant. I don't believe that for a moment. Ooh. I feel bad for my neighbors listening to me. I've announced what I'm doing with bonsai. Bonsai, sorry. Announced I'm doing with bonsai. My whole life I've been saying bonsai until very recently. So forgive me if I'm mispronouncing the word every time I say it. This thing is just a beast. See, there's some movement to it, but really, there's some huge roots in here, which I'm not going to want, but still have to sort them out. Ooh. Whatever this is here is just really... There we go. Got through that. This is not the exciting part, I'll tell you right now. Necessary? Yes. Exciting? Not really. So all I'm really doing is trying to make it so that I can lift this out without lifting the rest. And I think I almost can. Yeah, almost. All right. Continue to try to get through all this. I wonder if I can reach down and clip with my, or, you know what? Almost there. Where am I being held, huh? That's the question. There we go. All right. So now I've got a little cone of yew. Take this off. Put it down here. Basically all that is going to go into the trash because all I want is this part. Put this way because I probably won't need it. Yeah. All right. Here's what we're looking at. I still really like this tree. Allegedly they're slow growing, but I don't see evidence of that in this one. So now I'm going to try to come out some of the soil on this. I'm not sure how successful I'll be. Also kind of in a funny angle, so I'm going to re-angle myself so hopefully y'all can see a little better what I'm doing. I'm just combing out some of this soil, especially down low, but I do want to comb out a little on top. Fairly certain that when I got this, I'd uncovered at least this much of the root base, and I was very pleased with it. But I hadn't done a repot because I'd wanted to do topside pruning. And my assumption, although it may be a false assumption, is that this is enough of a feature that would determine the front. Maybe I have to remove it, I don't know. But because it's in a period of active growth, and the end of the summer is when it starts to send energy down to the roots, I want some very, very strong root growth at that time. I also want to make sure that it's a little more established in its pot after being repotted, because this is a 4-season plant. And although I'm going to be doing more to protect my plants from the cold this year, it still is going to have to be out in the cold. It's not a tropical, it requires dormancy, so it will have to get cold. Just how cold is the question. So this was a big root that came down. I don't know how much I'm going to keep of it. Just keeping my head on a swivel. Make sure that my cat's not doing anything stupid. She's currently, I think, trying to scratch her face on the edge of the pot this came out of, which I've laid a bread knife on top of, so gotta keep a close eye on her. She has little regard for her own safety, little regard for, you know, anything really. She's a cat. Don't expect her to. So it may not look like I'm making much progress, but the soil's coming off relatively easy. I'm not upset about that. Most of these roots are kind of, I wouldn't call them dry. They're certainly just old roots. They're all connected to something, which is good. I think you can see they're not all falling off. Some are falling off, but I cut a lot, so it doesn't shock me either. I'm trying to not use too much of my right middle fingers, because of course those aren't back to normal yet. Yeah. So this is one big root like this, and that's definitely going to have to get cut. I can see a new root here, I think. Before I go any farther, Nina. Sorry, just yelling at my daughter here. Not daughter, but cat. I'm going to go ahead and try to get this off because it's just way too big and way too vertical. And it may be that I just end up removing the whole thing. There we go. Oops. Sprayed a little bit there. Of course, since I'm not operating at full alkaboyuzi capacity, that was a little bit of a messy cut. My one-handed, or mostly one-handed technique is not as good as Tony's. Hope you're doing good, Tony. But yeah, that was a big piece of root that I did not want. This is a very dense root ball, I think. Oof. I don't know if you guys can still see. I lost, a couple pieces here. I think it was off the end of this, but that's okay. I expected to be a little too rough with this thing because of my inability to do everything the way I would normally. I'm still gonna push forward. It does seem to have some pretty decent roots in here, although this one here is crossing over. I might be able to straighten that out. Just don't know what it comes off of. So first I've got to do some more exploring. Sorry, I'm moving away from you guys. Not towards, moving away. All right. Sorry, I get a little tired there. That one's got a little bit of atrophy. It's been almost 2 weeks now. I haven't been able to use it. And when I was using it, I was already very tired. I don't know if that's good or bad for healing to have a tired muscle, but certainly it's tired a lot easier than it did before I cut it up. So we're making some progress. Got lots and lots of roots under here. Lots and lots of big roots too. This one might be a really good root. Under here, I'm seeing it come off of the base. So that's exciting. This kind of loops around. I think it's part of this one. For now, I will leave it. I can see I got one that comes straight down here. I need to get rid of that. So you can barely see it. This one here. So I'm gonna take that off. It wasn't huge. Big enough that it shouldn't have been vertical like that. Right. I know there's more vertical roots in here I've got to address. In fact, when I cut, there's more pieces that came off of that don't need to be in here, Little ones, big ones, all kinds of roots. There's some bigger ones, but those are good for the time being. This is a really funky mess of roots in here. That's good. I like funky. This is one here that needs to be addressed. It's a big mass right here. I don't know. It wasn't as big as I thought. This one too, right here. It's a big mass of a root. Again, just took it up further. This appears to be kind of, vertical root as well. I don't know if it's connected, but I'm gonna take it as far as I can without taking off too many feeders. And already my root base is starting to be a little bit smaller. Sorry, root ball, I should say. It's getting a little bit smaller. Going here with my fingers to try to tease out some of this. I should probably do it the other way, right? Yeah. Use your open wound to dig in the soil. Don't worry, guys. I'll wash my hands after this. We'll be all right. All right. Yeah, there's a lot in here, certainly. It's hard to get a visual on pieces that I want to see. We're getting in there. Right now I'm kind of working from the bottom out, so I got like long ones like this that come off, but it's okay. It's not there yet. Oh, sorry, my volume probably fell a little bit there too. That was just me talking softly. Again, I think that I probably come off as very annoying to most of my neighbors, so sometimes I do just speak softly. There we go. Let me cut this one back because it doesn't need that long, even if it is a horizontal root or anything like that. All right. And it feels as if I've kind of reached close to the bottom of the actual tree base itself. Let's see here. Still have more I need to go through here. It's not cooperating. There's a big winding root in here, and I'm not sure if it's this one or a different one. It feels like it's a different one that winds around. Yeah. Let's see here. That's not it. One big mass of something in here. It might be from that one. Really hard to see on the short term. You can see there's more roots that are coming down kind of a little too vertical. I'll address those. And I'm not trying to cut anything that doesn't need to be cut, but I do want to get this into a much shorter pot. Sure, I'm losing more foliage as I go. All right. I think I'm gonna have to do a part 2 on this one. So this is part 1. I'm gonna rinse this, come back for part 2, and then we will wrap up the repotting of this yew. You'll see the pot that I picked out for it, but I think I need to rinse this before I can go any further and wash my hands, of course. Stay tuned for part 2.